Stage 1. The naive empath. I didn't know I was an empath back then. I just knew that I cared, deeply, endlessly, sometimes painfully. I could sense shifts in tone, in energy, in presence. I knew when something was wrong even when no one said a word. I couldn't explain why crowded rooms drained me or why I carried emotions that didn't seem to belong to me. I didn't even realize these patterns. I just thought, this is life. I walk into a room and without trying, I become the room. The tension in the air settles into my chest. Someone else's sadness quietly slips into my heart. Even joy, when it's there, I feel it as if it's my own. Like a sponge, absorbing everything, filtering nothing. And because I didn't know any better, I assumed it was all mine. I used to often ask myself, why am I so emotional? Why can't I handle things like everyone else? Why do I feel exhausted for no reason? But there was reason. I was carrying more than I was ever meant to. I became who people needed me to be, someone people can rely on. I listened, I comforted, I showed up every single time because that felt like a responsibility I needed to ease. So I said yes even when I didn't want to. I stayed even when I needed to leave. I gave even when I was already empty. This is the stage where narcissists stay. They stay with people who are easy to control, who easily give in, who doesn't set healthy boundaries, who give way too much and feel too deeply. They take advantage of the empath's giving nature. Slowly, the empaths drain themselves and quietly start to disappear. Not all at once, not in obvious ways, but subtly. I was told I was too emotional, that I overreacted, that I misunderstood things. And slowly, I stopped trusting myself. I began to question my own reality. If I felt hurt, I assumed I was wrong because the narcissists seemed more confident, more intelligent. It was their way of words, those manipulations that got inside me. If something felt off, I convinced myself I was imagining it, that there was no way they could take advantage of me. If I was exhausted, I told myself I just needed to try harder. I became a sponge, not just for emotions, but for blame. I absorbed their anger, their criticism, their projections, and I made it my responsibility to fix it. Yes, that was the main problem. I wanted to be the fixer. Someone who fixes relationship, who fixes the narcissist. I gave more love, more patience, and more understanding because I believed that if I could just do better, everything would finally improve, be better, or be fixed. It was just a cycle of hope and empty promises. No matter how much I gave, it was never enough. It was difficult to cut them off because the naive me was scared of their threats, their blackmails, and most of all, their abuse. And so I stayed. Stage 2. Awakening and retraction. The overwhelmed empath. The breaking point didn't come in one dramatic moment. It came in layers. Exhaustion that sleep couldn't fix. Confusion that no conversation could clear. A deep, quiet ache that lived in my chest. At first, I resisted it because accepting that truth meant facing something even harder. That I had been losing myself physically, emotionally, mentally, trying to hold on to something that was hurting me. I started to be detached, emotionally numb. I felt like a living corpse, just breathing, just surviving. One time, I imagined myself dead. What's the point? I feel dead already anyway. At that point, I didn't feel scared of dying. So I imagined myself in my deathbed and taking my last breath, I reflect on my life. Was it worth it? The life that I lived? No. If right now I am not even scared of dying, then why am I scared of letting go of that abusive man? This thought stung me. What the hell am I doing trying to conceal his nature to others and pretending that I am fine? Why the hell am I trying to be this good girl and trying to fix something that I didn't break? Why am I torturing myself for loving someone that I didn't deserve? If I can love this abusive man with all my heart, then just imagine the life with the person who treats me right. And for the first time, I was ready for the game. I cannot win this with a naive empath mindset. I needed to beat manipulation with manipulation. If he could play the victim, so could I. Actually, I don't even have to play the victim. I was the victim. Just the difference was that I was holding it all in, trying to be better, stronger, and wiser. But not anymore. I started to mirror his tactics. I played the victim card so hard, I threatened him with my life just like he would. I dismissed him when he played the victim. I turned a blind eye to his "I cannot live without you" card. I became cold, cruel, and emotionless. I turned into a completely different person. This was my dark night of the soul, and it was painful, but it was also honest. I learned to recognize manipulation, to name gaslighting, to understand that empathy without boundaries becomes self-destruction. I practiced something that once felt impossible, saying no. At first, my voice shook, my heart raced, my mind filled with guilt, but I did it anyway. In fact, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time: power. I began to separate what was mine from what wasn't. I realized that not every emotion I felt belonged to me. Not every problem was mine to solve. Not every relationship was mine to save. And slowly, I started coming back to myself. Not the version of me that overgave and overextended, but the version of me that had been buried underneath all of that. Stage 3. The conscious empath. I was in my most empowering stage. I stopped giving away my kindness for people who didn't deserve. I started to build my guards up, cutting toxic people off, taking initiation, standing up for myself, doing the right thing instead of doing good thing. I felt empowered and confident, like nothing can beat me anymore. But little did I know that this would also lead to blocking love in my life. I could communicate better, but I found it very difficult to get close to people or to get into deep conversation with them. I wanted love, but I was scared of being vulnerable and open. I was so used to building my guards up that cutting people off became too easy. You see, putting your guards up is for the survival mode. Once you've come out of that, you gotta learn to let that down. And since I stayed in toxicity for many years, it was difficult to unlearn the survival mechanism that I had built. I started to like silence and solitude. This was my cocoon phase. To others, I looked lonely, but actually, I felt the safest. I could finally breathe with ease without having to think for anyone. No one's opinions, thoughts, or views mattered because there was no one. I didn't have to play the game anymore or worry if someone would take advantage of me. I didn't have to try hard to foresee someone's actions and intentions. I was at ease, and this became my comfort space. From the outside, it might have looked like I disappeared, like I was avoiding the world. But what really was happening was that I was finally meeting myself, sitting with my thought, my patterns, and my emotions. I began to untangle every belief I carried. I started questioning all of it. What do I feel? What do I need? What do I deserve? The naive me wasn't weak. She was just untrained. She was brave enough to love. She just didn't know how to hold empathy without drowning in it. So she had to learn the hard way. Stage 4. The thriving empath. Today, I still feel deeply. That hasn't changed, but everything else has. I relearned how to love again, how to accept people again, but this time I am wiser. There is clarity. My empathy is still here, but now it has awareness. I am no longer absorbing, I am discerning. I still feel compassion, yet I don't drain myself in trying to fix people. That is their responsibility, not mine. I finally learned that I am allowed to exist without overextending myself. This is the stage of integration, where everything you've learned becomes who you are. I no longer see my sensitivity as a flaw. I see it as awareness, as intuition, as connection. But now it has boundaries. I can sit with someone's pain without carrying it as my own. I can love without losing myself. I can walk away without explaining my worth. And perhaps the biggest shift of all, I no longer try to prove my goodness to people who benefit from my silence. I see clearly now the manipulation, the patterns, the energy that once drained me, and instead of trying to fix it, I choose distance, not out of anger, but out of self-respect. I no longer feel guilty for protecting my peace because I understand something now that I didn't before. My energy is not a resource for others to consume endlessly. It is a space I am responsible for honoring. I choose who gets access to me. I choose where my energy goes. I choose when to give and when to step back. And in that choice, I have found freedom. I am no longer the person who absorbs everything. I am the person who understands, who feels, who connects, but also who stands firmly within themselves. Closing reflection. If you are in that place right now, questioning yourself, feeling drained, wondering why love feels so heavy, hear this. You are not too much. You are deeply attuned in a world that often lacks awareness. But your empathy is not meant to be used against you. It is meant to be protected, nurtured, and honored. You are allowed to walk away. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to choose yourself. And when you do, you won't lose your empathy. You will finally learn how to use it, not as a wound, but as a strength. I'm still an empath, but I'm no longer a victim of my own heart. I am its protector, and that has changed everything.